I started this year, somebody asked me a question in interviews that said, if you only had 1 year to live, what would you do? And I thought, I would want to write a song about each friend in my life and thank them for who they were. And so this year, when I was approaching 2012, I thought, I'm going to write a song or a poem a day and just, forget about email dominating my life, forget about all the maintenance stuff of life that, when you're not singing and performing or touring, there's all of that stuff that gets in the way of creativity. And so I've been having a ball writing these poems, and a lot of them will probably be set to music, getting together with fellow artists and cornering them and say, let's write a poem together. And I think it's going to be a remarkable year, and I hope to put perhaps a book together and a CD together from some of this inspiration that's happening. And I think people don't realize how many ideas and images and thoughts are waiting, like little fish under the water, just waiting to be looked at and recognized and captured. And so I'm glad to know that I'm in a very fertile point right now in my life. Doing improvisation with audiences has become one of the hallmarks of my performances, whether I'm with a symphony orchestra or a jazz trio or a one-woman show. And I love to engage an audience. I love to get them involved, and I love the act of spontaneity. I think a very important moment in my life was reading Bob Dylan's book Tarantula, which was a novel that he wrote free association prose. And I was so amazed by this. I started writing free association writing in my journal, and I was about 12 years old when I read it. And so that was a big discovery for me, that you could write that way. And I would be so bad in my piano lessons that I would just make up stuff. So I think it was a natural evolution of feeling inferior as a pianist, and I couldn't play Beethoven, so I'd make up my own Beethoven. And then eventually I wanted to put words into things. And when I started off in New York in the old piano bars and the little joints, the gin joints, people would be talking, and I think, well, what can I do to really still this room and capture everyone's attention? And writing a song on the spot seemed to be the thing that suddenly, what is she doing? Why is she doing that? So, I would get words and phrases from the audience, and sometimes in the mid-'80s, I sang at this place on Central Park South called Les Tuileries, and people like Bianca Jagger and Andy Warhol and Truman Capote and all these amazing, diverse artists would be there. And the best way to get them to be quiet was to make up these songs. And then this became something that was almost like a spiritual experience. When 9/11 happened, I was at a spiritual retreat in upstate New York. And my spiritual teacher, Guru Maharaja Chidvilasananda, said, the people who died didn't know what happened, so we need to give them our blessings. So I was inspired to use the art form of improvisation, and I assembled a group of people. I invited singers and non-singers to be present for this blessing through singing. And I sang an invitation to everyone in the room to sing blessings, and there was no wrong note and no wrong word. In a space of about an hour and a half, about 100 people had gathered, and people who had never sung or people who had never made up anything in their life were incredibly, profoundly beautiful, and these gorgeous voices were coming out of them. These beautiful, incredible images were being expressed, and without a doubt, it was one of the most profoundly beautiful experiences of my life as a musician. And also the sense that giving people the permission to honor the sacred natural musical instinct that everyone has, not just professional musicians, but every human being has music in them. And I frequently tell my audiences that birds don't criticize their voices. Why should we? So that's a big part of my experience as an artist, is wanting to encourage the creativity and the expression that I think is in each one of us, and to take down that wall that divides the musician and the audience, and to not be you and I, but to always make it a we.